Make sure that your hand shows up in both cameras and clap like a good clap. All right, 5 seconds of silence. That was a really bad.
All right.
Hold on, no. No, we have to do the whole
5
5 seconds of silence.
Get in a position so you can actually give a really good clap. Like, let me see a good clap.
Nice.
That's better.
Yeah, that's a clap right there. You can't laugh afterwards. Like that ruins everything.
He's gonna clap. Okay. But do the 5 and then actual clap.
Hello, and welcome to the Yet to Be Named podcast. I'm your host, Leo.
I am Dre Santos.
And I'm Anthony.
And today we started it in a very unique way. Leo took the reins and started the podcast. A round of applause for Leo. Good job, Leo. Good job.
Now I'm all thrown off. Because I can't say anything now.
Anthony doesn't know what to do.
Oh, now I know how it feels.
So now we have a different episode for you guys today. We're going to be a little bit more serious about this one. No trolling.
4.
And this is episode 4, not including the 2.5 episode that we had not too long ago. And, we're excited to talk about this because, it's about the straight pride parade.
Yep. Happening in our hometown, Boston.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's the part of the reason why we thought we should have this conversation because, it's happening right in our backyard. Mm-hmm. But I think most importantly, one of the reasons why we started, and I think this is something very important to say as we're about to talk about something that can be triggering and something that, even at times it's very sensitive. It can be serious. It's a serious topic. It's important for us. The reason why we wanted to start a podcast, and we talked a little bit about, and this is the first episode, is the fact that we believe that there's no subject matter, that nothing that is under the sun that should not be questioned, that should not be talked about. It is not. We should have the ability to question ideas, to question motivations, no matter where they come from. And we should be able to disagree with one another in a respectful way. We should be able to debate ideas and question ideas.
And honestly, I think that's one of the bedrocks of our country. You know, the idea of free thinking, freedom of religion, that they don't have to worship the same religion that the state gives you. They can just do what they want, Because
the only way that we can move forward, the only way that we can understand one another is for us to be able to talk, to debate, and to question ideas, motivations, so on and so forth.
Yep.
And this is what we want to continue to promote, is educated and encouraging and... Man, what's the other word that I was thinking about? Those words that I said are none of the ones that I wanted to say.
I mean, it's also in a sense, after you said encouraging it's also empowering to have debates, have conversations, have arguments, even though maybe at the end of the day that you're going to disagree, but at least understand the idea and be able to learn to listen to the other person, listen to other ideas, because as much as you want to say that you're right, sometimes you're not, and you just be okay with that. Or maybe you can compromise with the ideas that are being set apart.
And I think maintaining a level of respect, is very important.
And part of that respect is trying to understand the other side.
Yeah.
And being able to talk to the other side without saying you're wrong because I don't like your idea.
Right.
And that's what we want to do here. We are 3 people, 3 friends, 3 best friends, 4 best friends, 5 best friends, because we have our producer, we have our fact checker in the room, that we like to have these conversations and we like to question each other. But at the end of the day, we're still friends. At the end of the day, we can still coexist.
So before we go on, we already got our introduction. So before we get onto this conversation, let us introduce our drink for today.
Yeah.
We got Downeast Double Blend Unfiltered. This is a cider, one of my favorite drinks. Okay, gonna turn it around, turn it here. Okay, great, awesome. Now, Downeast, I've had it a couple of times. It's a cider, unfiltered, which means that they really packed a lot of flavor and also a lot of alcohol content. 7.3% alcohol. And oh my god, actually. Anyways, so
He's getting annoyed from having to hold it a certain way.
Here, there you go. You happy now? Okay. Okay. Yeah. There you go. So we're gonna try it out, and gonna give our rating.
Yeah. And this is the first time that we have a cider on the podcast. It's first time. We usually have been trying beers, but now today we decided to have some ciders. So
and none other than Leo De Souza brought it in for us, and so thank you for finding a cider that we can all taste and enjoy together.
Ciders are Leo's favorite alcoholic drink. So here's to Leo.
All right, well, let's get into the description. It looks like all the other beers that we tried.
I know. All of them seem to be a yellow. There's a theme here.
Well, not yellow. This is like a deep yellow, almost orange.
Yep.
No, I mean,
it's definitely like dark. Like it's not foggy. Like you can't really see through it.
It's hazy. It looks like an IPA.
Yeah, it's not really. It's kind of sticking to the glass, kind of. Not as much as usual.
Wait, now let's take a sniff. Let's smell it.
Smells like apple juice.
Yep.
It really does.
That's so weird.
I think it smells much sweeter than what we've had before.
Are you saying compared to beer?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
You know what it also does? It smells a lot more like
fermentation.
Our mead. It actually smells like our mead.
All right, let's go for the taste.
Do you think we can make cider now? Do you straight up apple juice?
Anthony,
that's a conversation.
You're so vigorously shaking that it just spilled all over the place. Yeah. But it's interesting that it smells like the meat that we made.
All right, guys, let's go on for the taste. All right. Oh wow! Wow. Okay.
Just kidding.
Andre, would you like to start us off?
I need to take another sip.
No, one sip doesn't do it.
There's a lot of carbonation. I feel the bubbles as I drink. I think that the first thing that I notice is the carbonation. That's the main thing that I notice at first.
Definitely for me, it's it's definitely more sour. I definitely have that sour taste, kind of like a sour apple taste.
It's very crisp.
Very crisp. You can definitely taste the alcohol. A lot stronger than the normal cider. I'll tell you that.
It is stronger. But you know what? I started with ciders and then I moved into beers. Into lagers and ales and IPAs and all that kind of stuff.
It's probably like a transition.
And since then, I've never been able to drink a cider the way that I used to. It's too sweet. But today, I can definitely drink this and not complain about the sweetness. It's not too sweet.
Okay.
Anthony?
Hold on. As soon when you take a couple of sips, it's like really, really sour. Like Leo said, it is sour, but almost pickly. It's kind of weird. Like in the back of my
pickle.
Yeah, like
as in the vegetable pickle.
Yeah, like in the vegetable pickle.
Dude,
like in the back
what
of
are
my
you eating?
tongue.
What's wrong with you, man?
Like in the back of my tongue, it's like tastes like the sourness of a pickle.
Last week it was oily, now it's pickly, and then it's floury, and then
this one
earthy.
isn't that. It's like getting seltzer water and then mixing apple juice with it.
It is very bubbly.
Yeah,
the carbonation is kind of throwing me off.
Okay, so
it's almost like a can of soda, but then it's not.
So Dre, what's your rating?
in
Yeah,
cider.
you have to think about it as
Yeah.
cider.
As a cider, because I would not put this alongside a beer. Like right now, I'm thirsty. This is not a thirst quenching cider. I think ciders in general, now that I'm thinking about it, are not thirst quenching. They actually make me even thirsty. But anyways, as a cider, I would say it's a good 3 out of 5.
I don't know, man.
I'll agree. It's 3 out of 5 for me.
My favorite cider used to be Angry Orchard, and now I can't take it. It's too sweet. The thing that I like about this, even though the carbonation throws me off a little bit, it's not too sweet. I like the bitterness, the sourness of it.
You just like sour beer in general.
I kind of do.
You're weird.
I am kind of weird about that.
I can't give this a 3. There's no way. It just I think the carbonation really throws me off way too much. Like you're saying, it throws you off, but it does it so like a disservice to the actual to the taste. It just it really does taste like seltzer water added with some apples, and it's just like it kind of brings me down to like a 2.
Okay, 2 3s and a 2.
So about 2.5.
Yeah,
average rating.
Not
it'd
too
be
bad.
2.75.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah, but not too bad. I still consider Downeast one of
This
the
one-
best.
Although it's stronger, it didn't make me gag like the other two. So
Yes.
I don't know. And then there's like this weird taste at the end, like when you get like a diet soda.
No.
That's what at the end of that. That's what it tastes like.
What you're telling me is that you're tasting at the end of it, you're tasting diet soda with a pickle in it.
Kind of, yeah.
oh, God.
Well, next month we'll try another cider.
I guess so.
I think we should do that. We should do it once a month in honor of Leo's taste buds.
And
we
great.
should.
We'll put Leo's flag up in
Imagine-
this one.
What if my taste buds like subject to change? So it's like
It will change, and I hope it will change. Anthony, what is the topic of tonight?
Like
lead us through this.
Like I was saying before, we're going to talk about the Straight Pride Parade that's happening in Boston. And it's one of those things that has become like a controversy, especially because the LGBTQ community did their Pride Parade not too long ago. And everybody is lashing out on the people that are trying to start it, which was Happy Fun America. Is that what it is?
Is it called Super Happy Fun America?
Super Happy Fun America.
I have my phones here for guidance.
Yeah,
all the stuff.
yeah. And we were like interested on what this topic leads to because it became so controversial. Yet such a
the amount
simple
of backlash was like ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
Apparently they used Brad Pitt as their unofficial mascot.
Yeah.
Until Brad Pitt he threatened to sue unless they took out his image.
He was not happy.
Yeah, he wasn't.
No.
So, with that, we were like, if it's bringing this much controversy for such a simple thing, then why not let's kind of dig into it, digest it. Dissect it, yeah, and just try to understand and analyze what's going on, and then you're gonna hear some of our opinions, but in a sense of like we're analyzing it from our point of view, and to know that we're not experts in what we're saying,
Not at all.
but we are people with opinions, and we live in Boston, and we love Massachusetts, and we love the people here. And
we're inquisitive.
Yeah, and for us, we just want to spread awareness that you can have conversations about these things without, tearing each other's heads off.
We want to find the truth.
Exactly.
All right. So Super Happy Fun America. Dre, if you have their website up.
I do. Do you want me to read their?
Yeah. What is their statement? What are they about?
All right, so I think that the most interesting thing, if you go on their website and you go to Boston Rejects Straights, there is a picture of one of the guys that are running this. I don't know his name, but this is the guy. It has a picture, kind of like a Times magazine.
I don't know if
with
you're actually
Hayes.
going to be able to see that, but
I'll put it up on the screen if anything.
yeah.
But so this is what the website says. Super Happy Fun America applied to raise the straight pride flag on the Boston City Hall flag post. The city of Boston was chosen to launch this important new civil rights campaign due to its historic significance and reputation as a progressive city. Unfortunately, the administration of Mayor Marty Walsh proved to be resistant to change and rejected our request. We are disappointed. Actually says, we are disappointed. There's no I there. We're disappointed that the Walsh administration has chosen hate and discrimination. However, we understand that some segments of society, such as the municipal government, may be hesitant to embrace progress. Therefore, we have decided to launch a campaign to educate the public, politicians, and civil rights about the straight community and the unique problems we face. We have determined that a parade will be the best way to promote our community and its diverse history, culture, and identity. We anticipate that the city will eventually choose to embrace tolerance and inclusivity. For now, it is necessary to remind the city that they are legally obligated to treat straight people the same as people of the other sexual orientations. And then they quote the law, prohibits discrimination based upon sexual orientation in places of public accommodation. While Boston Pride hosts a week-long celebration every year for the LGBTQ plus community, we will settle for one day since our movement is still in the early stages. So they demand same parade routes. They demand same accommodations for street closings, inclusion of vehicles and floats. They want permission to raise a straight flag in the Boston City Hall, and they want to add an S to the LGBTQ because it's more inclusive that way. So that is the post that they have on their website.
Right, and this all started on Facebook when the leader of one of the leaders of this Super Happy Fun America website posted that they're going to do a straight parade. Yeah. And that's really cool. That's really interesting because, guess what? Somebody else wants to do a parade, and so, hey, celebration, you know what I mean?
So my main question is, why did the LGBT community and like celebrities and the like reacted so negatively when they heard about a straight pride parade?
Right. But I wanted to start off with the actual, the start of what straight pride was before. Actually,
was there ever straight pride?
Yes, actually there was. In 1970s. That was when the words straight pride actually started, and that was formed. And the way that Wikipedia puts it is that it was a logistics for super conservatives to use as a ploy. I don't know if I really enjoy that definition, but if you go and you look in Wikipedia, hold on. There's also a definition. I think I just searched it with this and just go back. Yeah. Okay. So it says is a slogan that arose in the late 1980s and early 1990s and has been used primarily by social conservative groups as a political stance and strategy. The term is described as a response to gay pride, adopted by various LGBT groups in the early 1970s, or the accommodations provided to gay pride initiatives. So pretty much what the LGBT community has been around since the 1970s, and the straight pride is apparently by Wikipedia's definition is a answer to the gay pride, which started in the 1970s. But so which is really interesting, something I didn't know before. But we were talking about this when I was reading it, and he didn't know that either. Where we're like, kind of, this is interesting how history just repeats itself.
We thought it just started now.
Yeah, where we were like naive enough to think that, no, this has never happened before. But it actually has happened before, and it's not actually a crazy thing to have.
All right, then my next question will be: do you believe, according to the website, do you believe that heterosexuals are being discriminated in some way?
Okay, but we didn't even answer the first question.
Yeah, the first question you had, what was
and that
it?
was an interesting question.
Yeah.
It was
why did the LGBTQ communities?
oh yeah, why did they react so negatively?
Why? Not only it wasn't just, and that's the thing. It wasn't just the LGBTQ community.
Yeah.
It was people that support the LGBTQ community.
What was there's
celebrities.
There's a show called The View.
Yeah.
Yeah, they called
Whoopi Goldberg.
Very famous.
They called the leaders morons.
Yeah,
for trying to start.
More.
Yeah,
but which is interesting because I searched, in preparation for this episode, I searched on YouTube. There's not a lot of coverage on it, which is interesting because when the media doesn't cover something, it's because they want to silence it.
Yeah.
And even in that video of The View talking about the straight pride parade, they say it how they don't want to really talk about it because it'll bring more attention to it. So let's say the liberal media is actively ignoring this to try to silence it,
however,
and not to bring attention to it.
However, when you go to YouTube, everyone's talking about it, like major YouTube channels, like people who do commentaries. It's all over.
Yeah. But there's I expected to see more, and there wasn't too much of it.
Yeah, from like Fox.
Yeah,
and
there wasn't. And the ones that, let's say, from the media, the videos that I saw, it was just they were making fun of it. Apart from The View, because The View does raise some really interesting questions, they were simply making fun. They weren't asking why.
Yeah,
is this? They weren't doing what we're about to do today.
Yeah, they didn't really like sit down and talk to the people that were starting it. And
there's no interviews. That's true.
Yeah.
There are no.
Yeah.
I could not find any interviews of the guys that are trying
even
to start
on
this.
Steve Colbert, he did a segment on it. Basically the same thing, just bashing on it, making fun of it, showing tweets from celebrities like Smash Mouth and other stuff.
So then the question is again, why did people have that reaction? What Leo, why do you think that people had that kind of reaction?
Yeah.
Because it was overwhelmingly negative.
It really was. Yeah.
I honestly I haven't seen someone give a reason. All I've seen was, oh, it's stupid. Why are they doing it? We don't need straight pride. And then I don't know, it's just a very strange reaction, especially coming from the LGBT and from the left, who are supposed to be accepting of all people, all races, all religions, and all ways of thought. Apparently not. Maybe not ways of thought, but they're all about inclusivity. And then when straight pride comes out, the straight pride parade comes out, it's just automatically shut down, without even a conversation. Like Andre said, we can't find interviews. No one's interviewing these guys. No one's asking questions. No one's asking what it's about. I mean, given that, the website kind of gives off a snippet of what it's about, but no one's really going deeper into it.
Yeah, no one's actually asking questions where it's like, okay, what's your experience in this? Why is it that you decided personally? Like, what is the individual motivation instead of, because that's what the left really loves to do, is asking the individual questions, because they want to see.
They don't ask the individual questions.
Yeah,
it's all about the group that you identify with.
Yeah, but in the group, there are individuals. That's what they like to point out, is like there are individuals that are getting discriminated and stuff like
that. Because
on
a surface level, I really don't see why the LGBT and the left are making such a big fuss about it. I mean, I would understand if it's like, oh, the KKK wants to make a rally in Boston. Like, yeah, that's a different story. But straight pride, they just want to have a parade. So I don't think it's really interfering with anything.
I think that the first thing that you have to keep in mind after reading the website, it does sound like they're trolling.
Yeah, it kind of does.
I don't think that they're doing this because they truly believe that there is discrimination against straight people.
We don't know unless we ask
Yeah,
them.
but then
like,
then again, we don't really know exactly what their side is, because at the end of the day, we're not interviewing them either.
Okay, but if you're about to do something that's serious, you wouldn't call yourself a super happy fun America, and you wouldn't put a bunch of emojis right on top of a bunch of men with suits on with happy face emojis on top of your website. This is the website is designed to be something that's supposed to be trolling. I think these are guys who maybe are fed up, and this is just speculation because again, we have not seen any interviews with them. But these are guys that maybe are just fed up with Pride Month and being having pride, LGBTQ pride being shoved down their throats and being forced to accept it, and now they're responding in a satirical way, and that's what conservatives do nowadays. They respond to the left by being over the top and by being trolls. That's how they do it, and it baits the left so bad. So if their purpose was to make fun of what's going on and to bait the left, they're winning. They're doing exactly what it did, because people are losing their fucking minds. You go on Twitter, people are like, "Why the fuck is straight pride even a thing?" Why people are even thinking about that?
This Instagram post, I think Dre was the one that showed me this. That this person was equating straight pride with white pride,
white supremacy,
white supremacy.
Because to have white people should not have pride in their ethnicity, because that becomes white supremacy. And then that's what that's what the post says. And then it's like, why can't we be proud of our race? I mean, so that's interesting.
But then you become what do you call it?
I'm almost even afraid to think this, to say this out loud, because of the reaction we might get online.
So then let's take a step back. Why then? Let's ask the question: why do the LGBTQ community have pride? Why is pride so important to them?
From what I've seen, it basically comes down with the history of them not being accepted in society. That especially like a lot of people coming out to their families, especially people from a conservative families or religious families. There's a lot of baggage to that. Some countries, even today, it's illegal to be gay. That's a death penalty. So I can understand that, it's a struggle for them, to have same-sex attraction, and for a lot of people not to be okay with it and react in a very negative way towards them. So I guess this Pride Month, this week of parade is like it's like their moment to shine.
That June actually became a Pride Month during the Obama administration. It was Obama who declared that June is Pride Month. That happened recently in the past 8 years.
That's interesting.
That's an interesting. What about you? Why do you think that Pride is so important for the LGBTQ community?
So I know I can't say exactly what they're thinking. I don't know how they're feeling. I don't know, I can't even empathize, because I don't know. I can kind of slightly empathize with them in a sense of how it would look if another group tried to do what we're doing. But what I have, seen on YouTube and whatnot from the LGBTQ community is that when they're in Pride, they see other people just like them. And it feels relieving to be in that kind of group, because they're the minority. And then when they're there, they're no longer the minority, they're the majority, because they're together, inclusive in a group. And when they're walking around, they're able to see other people, that are accepting of who they are. And it becomes something of a safe haven you could say, and that makes sense. But when somebody else does what they're doing, and they're saying it's like I guess instead of saying, homosexual, the heterosexual side of it, so the opposite side, the quote unquote opposing side, because, nowadays we become a very tribalistic, society. Yeah. Which sucks because we can't work together anymore because there's always got to be one side versus the other. And that other side ends up doing the same thing as you. They become irritated because, like, hey, you guys don't need it because you're the majority. You don't need a pride because why is there such
I've actually heard that
why is there such a thing?
The people organizing the straight pride parade, they tried partnering up with the LGBT parade as well, but the LGBT rejected them, from what I've heard. So, and then it goes back, like,
is there a actual source that you're able to cite on?
I mean,
that
Milo, what's his name?
Milo Yiannopoulos. He's the mascot,
the grand marshal of the Pride Parade, which can easily backfire. Because
and by the way,
for
the people who don't know who Milo Yiannopoulos is, he is this conservative journalist.
Journalist.
He's gay.
he's very loud and proud about his homosexuality.
Yeah, he's a gay man married to a black man, super conservative. He's very trolly. He did a kind of like a campaign around America, going on college campuses and speaking. And he got a lot of negative. He got attention, but a lot of negative attention.
And that's what some people are criticizing, the fact that he's a grand marshal, because he brings so much negative attention. Yeah. Because and so we all, I think, from what we're saying here, is that pride is important for the LGBTQ community to feel included, to feel safe within the community. Yeah. Because doing research for this episode, United States, I found that United States has 327 million people, and the Gallup poll estimates that out of that 327 million, 4.5% are in the LGBTQ community, which means that it's 14 million people out of 327 million. So you can definitely feel isolated by being such a small minority. So I get it. So it is important for them to have that month. And after watching a lot of videos of the LGBTQ people talking about why it's important, I got to understand. I'm like, this is actually an important thing for them, and I understand why they would get so triggered.
Yeah.
And then the question is, you said earlier that, reading from the side, it sounds like they were trolling.
Yes.
Had they tried to do the straight pride parade, maybe without coming off so much as a troll, do you think it would have been accepted or come off better?
Still not, because and that's the thing. So from what we've seen is that the reason why they have pride is because they have been a community that has been persecuted for the past few decades.
Yeah, discriminated.
They have been discriminated against. So they need that week. They need those parades to let's say push their agenda, to push their ideas into the mainstream and to feel accepted.
You know what's interesting?
What?
Not to cut you off. There was a person, a YouTuber that I think his name is. Should I say his name?
I don't know.
Kingsley. So
we're gonna get demonetized.
I mean, at the end of the day, he probably holds what he says. Yeah. So pretty much what he was saying is pride is a it helps level the playing field.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Is what he was pretty much saying.
It brings their issues that, to the main public's attention.
No, it's saying that it makes up for all that's been happening. That pride is about making up for the mistakes before. Okay. That it's supposed to be a Band-Aid over the LGBTQ community.
Okay.
That's what he was saying. And that's pretty interesting. So it's not what you're thinking. It's actually It's like, hey, you guys owe us something.
It's almost
Hold
like
on.
it's therapeutic.
Yeah.
The way that he's saying it.
Yeah.
And then the question is, like, if it's supposed to quote unquote level the playing field, or making up for the mistakes, then how long are we going to have to make up for this mistake? It's the same thing as the Black community asking for free college because their ancestors were enslaved by white people, and they think that white people should pay for white families who own slaves, that they should pay for.
Is that really a thing?
Yeah, some people try to advocate for that, and then the question becomes like, how far is this gonna go? Because white people in Europe, they can go to the Arabs and call them out for enslaving their people. Because that actually happened.
So then, just to keep it on topic, so what is the problem? Let's say for you personally, what do you think would be the problem of having this Pride Parade or Pride Month?
I don't really have a problem with it. I think it's the motivation behind it. Because if the motivation behind it is, oh, you guys screwed us over, so we're gonna be having this parade, we're gonna be shoving this down your throats to make up for what you've done, and I think that's a bit silly, and a bit unfair, to be honest.
I didn't see that, at least with the people that I have watched that are in the community.
No, but
it's more about pushing their, let's say again, their agenda and their needs forward, and helping the let's say our society to accept them.
But I said, like, this is all going based off what Anthony said with that YouTuber guy.
Yeah, the YouTuber was pretty much saying that.
Yeah, I don't believe that's what they're actually saying.
And there were two YouTubers there. I forgot the second guy, but he was pretty much saying, "Oh, get him!" Like, yeah, you're right. And it's kind of like, it's weird how it's not about the inclusivity of everybody.
This is our moment. No one can have this spotlight.
Right. Yeah. That's okay though. I think that's okay.
It kind of makes sense though. I personally don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I don't think there's a problem.
The same way that we have Black History Month to remind us where the Black community, what their ancestors went through, where I'm totally okay with having. I don't mind having Pride Month and allowing people to express.
I can make some comments on that, but that's going to go off topic.
Yes, so we're not going to talk about that. But I don't really see a problem. But what sometimes I do see a problem is that there are people in the media, in the mainstream media, that say that hate crimes against the LGBTQ community is on the rise.
Oh yeah.
And Anthony and I did no, actually it's really not.
It's really not.
Anthony, where's your phone? Pull up the
so we made
charts.
graphs.
We actually made a graph. We went to the FBI website, which keeps track of hate crimes ever since 1996, and the FBI, they define
it says 1995, but
they only have 1996.
There's nothing there.
They define hate crimes as crimes against persons, murder or non-negligent manslaughter, rape, aggravated assault, simple assault, intimidation, human trafficking, commercial sexual acts, and human trafficking, involuntary servitude, or crimes against property, robbery, burglary, larceny, motor vehicle theft, arson, and destruction, damage, or vandalism. So since in 1996,
so pretty much any crime whatsoever,
yes,
with the motivation of
against discriminatory motivations behind us. In 1996, there were 1,180 reported hate crimes. There were 1,180 hate crimes that were reported. The highest between 96 to 2006 was in 2001, which 1,664 hate crimes were reported. And then you go to the next 10 years, from 2007 to 2017, the highest, which was the highest in the past 20 years, was in 2008 with 1,706 hate crimes reported. And last year was 1,338 hate crimes reported.
Is hate crimes or
hate crimes against the LGBTQ community specifically.
Okay.
So when I say these numbers, these are 1,338 people that suffered hate crimes last year
of sexual orientation.
Yes. Now, That's terrible.
Yes.
We should not stand for people being discriminated and people being abused, people being violated because of who they are.
Yeah.
However, we do need to keep something in mind, that the number has stayed somewhat steady throughout the past 20 years.
Actually,
it has risen in the past since 2014, and it hit a high in 2008, but then it went down again and then started going up in the past 4 years. But if you type that on Google, like the New York Times, they are blasting saying that hate crime is on the rise. But when you really see, it's only like 75, 75, I think it's like 50 cases less, let's say 70 cases.
And considering you said there was like 13 million people
14 million.
14 million.
So
LGBT.
that is 0.01% of the population of the LGBTQ community suffer hate crimes. Now, this does not include discrimination.
Yeah.
Because we should be aware that I'm sure that the vast majority of the community, I would say, do suffer some kind of discrimination that goes unreported. But the fact is that we have to remember that the United States, even though not perfect, I would say is the best place, one of the best places in the world for LGBTQ community to live. Now, had they have to fight for their rights? Yes. And I stand in solidarity with them, and my heart goes for them. What is that?
That's the actual percentage of 14 million to the 1,400 people.
Oh, yeah. So 0.0000095% of the community suffers against these hate crimes against the LGBTQ community. But we just the reason why I bring these numbers, we have to keep things in perspective. Okay, the LGBTQ community has come a long way since the Stonewall riots in the 1970s. That's where the gay pride started, where they were forbidden to be gay. That in the United States, they would go to jail for being gay, for being homosexuals. To today, they have made some humongous strides, and we don't have the data before 1996, so we don't know. But in the past 20 years, even though, again, it's terrible to see that there's still hate crimes committed against people in this community, it is not as bad as some people claim to be. And we still, but here's the thing.
And this is
we still need to move forward so that number, that 1,000 and some change, goes down to nearly zero. Not only for the LGBTQ community, but for all of other minorities.
And when he's saying it's not that many, he's comparing it to like racial discrimination, hate crimes,
which is literally 8 times more.
Yeah.
We checked again in the FBI. It's nearly 8 times, 7 to 8 times more.
8,000, 7,000.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I think people in the media, they should really be careful when they put headlines out like this.
Yeah.
People need to keep in mind that the mainstream media, I think nowadays, I think it's safe to say that they're not really interested in telling the truth. They're more interested in making headlines.
Yes.
And making money.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
that was the whole point of it.
Yeah, so headlines like this, like, LGBT community suffering hate crimes on the rise, I think that does a disservice to all the people who fought for their rights.
And you know what's interesting?
And also, and I think it raises tension between the LGBT community and everyone else. So, people reading that, they're going to be like, oh my God, suffering hate crime, this straight person might beat me at any moment. What good does that do?
And now here's the thing. Since 1998, we don't have data from the FBI from exactly what kind of crimes were committed against this community, the LGBTQ community. But in 1996, the majority of the crimes committed against people in that community were property damage and discriminatory comments and stuff like that. The more serious crimes were under 10. So out of, like, let's say in 1990, I think it was like 1,500. Out of the 1,500, I think about 15 were serious crimes.
In 1996?
Yeah, 1,100. 1,100. Out of the 1,100, less than 1% were really serious crimes.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not justifying the fact that this is okay. This is not okay. As a society, we should never stand for anyone in our country to have to go through this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we have to keep things in perspective.
Yeah.
Is that the community has come a long way.
Yeah, the numbers say something to how we have taken strides to accommodate everybody.
Yes.
And when we're saying accommodate everybody, this is a percentage of the population in which we live in the United States. And we're not talking about anybody outside the United States.
Yeah, these numbers are just focused on the United States. So could you say that, ready? So that we're going to the home stretch.
Yeah.
Could you say that since the 1970s, pride parades, the LGBTQ pride parades, have actually helped to bring more rights to the LGBTQ community?
The parades itself?
Yeah, the movement. Because part of the movement is the parade.
I mean, the parade, when did that start?
1971.
1971,
Maybe.
Okay.
I honestly don't know. I need to look into it. My gut instinct is to say yes, but I don't think just parades help them get to where they are now. I think there's definitely more into it. And honestly, I don't think the LGBT could do it by themselves. I'm pretty sure that I'm definitely sure that
they couldn't.
They had support from
It's
everybody.
heterosexual people that stand in solidarity with them. They see another person suffering, and I'm like, we need to make this the stop.
Yeah.
And then the final question, so that we can end, is after talking about all of this, understanding a little bit better the struggle and why pride is an important thing for the community. Should there be a straight pride parade?
I honestly don't see why not.
You still say yes?
I'd say yes, because the way that I look at it, I don't see it as an interference against the LGBT, like, because they're not doing it in the same month as the LGBT, like, and I don't see it as them condemning the LGBT, like, oh, they are terrible to us. They're like, no, we want to accept people of all sexual orientations. We want to be accepting of all people. And if straight people want to have a parade, I really don't see it. Why not? As long as they're not hurting other people or interfering with other people, I don't see why not. But if they come out with this very homophobic message, then I'd definitely be against it. Like, yeah.
And that's my fear. I'll be 100% honest. Let's say 2 weeks ago when I heard of this, I'm like, sure, why not? Let's have a straight parade. But then I'm like, all right, let me understand the other side. Let me ask these questions and see where the LGBTQ community, why is pride so important to them? And I think I would have to land with no. I don't think we should have it, just because my fear is that this becomes something that can easily become hateful. Is that this will attract the wrong kind of people. That this will bring people that will slam the other side.
The argument can be made against the LGBT.
But here's against that.
The argument that I've been hearing, which I think is a pretty fair argument, is I've heard that the LGBT, the gay pride parades are overly sexualized.
No, oh yeah. Well, but we're not gonna. I don't think we should get into this because it would just lead into a really long conversation, which I wanted to, but it's okay. But now here's the thing. I watched a couple of videos where conservatives go and try, those videos where they go into a parade or to a rally from the other side, from the left, and they ask questions and try to get them into like a conundrum.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's conundrum. They're always asking a question.
Yeah, but they're intentionally trying to find faults within their logics. And I watched a video with a kid doing that in a pride parade in Los Angeles, and I have to say, it surprised me because most of the people that he interviewed had a very good reason why they were there. They were not hateful in any way, except one or two people. They were like, you know what? If straight people want to have their parade, let them have it. But understand why we're having our parade. Understand that you don't come from the same struggles that we came from. But if that's important to you, have it. I was literally amazed because most of these kind of videos, people on the left will quickly turn and spew hate against conservatives.
Yeah.
But in these interviews with the people in the LGBTQ community and during the parade, they were actually loving and accepting. They did not hate. For most of them, they did not hate. Some of them like kind of scoffed. I'm like, that's a stupid idea.
Yeah.
But that was it.
I mean, for that purpose, because people scoff at it, that bothered me, because I'm like, you should just be prideful of where you're at, who you are, and everybody's just talking about love, and everybody should have love, beautiful love.
But does
and
having
stuff like
love
that
means that you can't scoff?
Yeah, it does mean that.
I don't think so.
Because
especially when it's something.
Because when you're scoffing,
like that.
You're kind of like, oh, that's stupid. You're dumb for thinking that, and that's not why. How is that love? If you're scoffing at somebody, why not try to understand? Okay, well, why do you think you would
now,
need
if
it?
you were to hear just a ludicrous idea, would you really stop and think about every time? Why is that idea so ludicrous to me?
Not at first, but that's a problem.
But that's the thing.
But no. That's not the thing, because that's a
thing.
problem in me being prideful and thinking that I know more than that person.
Exactly. But it's the same thing. So the people in these videos, they were caught by surprise. When you hear, let's say, I'll be honest. The first time that I heard about straight pride, I was like, that's a silly idea.
Yeah,
why do we even need pride? Like, I'll be honest. That's the first thing that I thought. But then I'm like, oh, I want to be part of this. This is interesting. But then I thought of it again. I'm like, wait, actually, no, this can really turn bad really fast. And then I kind of like, never mind. But
yeah, if it turns hateful, then yeah, that's not something to be part of.
But to comment on that is that maybe they're being scoffed. Maybe.
Yeah.
At the end,
this is all speculation.
Yes. At the end of the day, all human beings,
yeah,
no matter race or sexual orientation or whatever else you want to describe them as, can be extremely hateful.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone has the tendency to be hateful under the right circumstances. Yeah, but I think just close it. I think that maybe the reason why some of them scoffed is because it was a new idea and they didn't really stop to think about it.
Yeah. And it's the same thing as, with a community, like the LGBTQ community wants to be accepted because they are quote unquote the minority, and that's proven by fact.
Yes. 4.5% of the population.
Right. And hold on. I'm not even finished.
I get your point.
So they're a minority, and it's a new idea. In a sense of like, because they're the minority, they're not
50
as many
years is not a new idea.
New ideas, and like I'm saying that it's a baby because not everybody is like completely around the idea, because you still have opposition to it. Because and we're talking about 50 years in the humanity.
Well, I mean, 50 years since they started having the Pride Parade.
Yeah,
it's been much longer than that.
Humanity is.
But it's something that something that you said that makes me think.
I'm trying, okay?
I know.
I'm trying.
But you said something really interesting that kind of got to me.
Yeah.
Because they're the minority.
Yeah.
They're never not going to. Most likely, they're never going to not live in a world where they're widely accepted. Right. I don't think they are.
Right. And
this makes me think maybe this is why to them Pride Month is so important.
And mind you, remember that when Donald Trump announced his presidency, he was scoffed at and made fun of. No one took him.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't take him seriously.
Yeah, I mean,
and
everybody
look at him
didn't.
now; he's in the White House.
Yeah, but
so I think the same way that conservatives have been scoffed at, made fun of. I think this is the reaction. This is the motivation behind the straight pride. Is like basically they're underestimating the amount of people, the conservative or this conservative idea that a lot of people believe in, because they're afraid to come out and express these ideas because they know that they're going to get a lot of backlash.
Well, as you can see, there is in the LGBTQ community, if you come out as conservative, it's also really hard. But we're talking about
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah, but we're talking about the whole pride, and to end it.
What do you think? Should there should be a straight pride?
I don't think it should matter. I think if you want to have a parade, go have a parade. It's just like how we have a Thanksgiving parade, we have Macy's parade. It's like whatever. Go have that parade. And at the end of the day, if you become triggered by it, like don't let it bother you.
Stop and think about why you're being triggered.
Yeah, why are you being triggered? If it's just one day out of a whole year that it happens, like for Pride, you get a whole month. And I'm not saying that it should compensate for anything, but you get a whole month to celebrate you, and for a parade you get like a whole week, right? Is that what they like for a whole week? There's like parades everywhere in the United States, and no, everywhere in the United States, right?
Yeah.
So like think about that. Like holy crap, that's awesome. Like
it's tough though.
It's
really like I at first when we started thinking about this and maybe talking about this, I thought it would be simple, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, fuck, this is tough.
More complicated.
It's really tough.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
because
it's just,
and the reason why it's funny because Leo says yes, Anthony said whatever. I say no, and the reason why I say no is after reading their website, they're trolling.
We don't know that. No, we don't know that.
I'm going to make the assumption.
He's making the speculation.
You know what I say about people who assume they make an ass out of you and me.
Okay, then I'll be an ass. This is gonna be recorded. I'm gonna be an ass if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But they are, and here's the thing.
I'm saying we don't know.
Knowing the track record of conservatives and how they like to troll liberals.
We don't know that.
No, we do.
Internet trolls is one thing, but like actual conservatives, like
conservatives try to have these anti whatever insert name of parade here all the time. They have the women's parade and they have the men's parade. They have this parade and they have the other parade. They always try, and it's always in a sense of being...
Men's rights is a pretty serious issue, but that's a conversation for another day.
I know.
The fact that I'm saying is that they always try to fight the opposition with trolliness. They don't, and this is what I'm afraid of, is that if this is to be a troll, they're disservicing the things that the people in the LGBTQ community have gone through. They're making it into a joke, and it's not a joke.
Yeah.
Even though there's only 1,300 people that have gone through hate crimes, it's still 1,300 people.
Yeah.
It's easy for us to say that this is not a lot, but behind these numbers, these are real people. And I would hate to be part of something that is making fun of the suffering, no matter how small the number of people are, of the suffering that they're going through. Because I would hate to go out in the street and have people looking at me or have people making fun of me or even being beat up or raped because of who I am. And that is why I say, after thinking about it, no, let's not even go there.
All right, Anthony, pull out the cheer thing for the toast.
Hold on.
Pull it out.
No.
But we do this naturally.
I know.
He's
like, pull it out, Anthony. Let's go.
I know.
Let's go. But
we have a way
going to be here all night.
I am curious. I am very curious about what our producer thinks about all of this.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yes, I'm sorry, Achila, but I need you to come up here. And I need you to give I don't know, man. You're a smart guy.
Yes.
You are a very well-versed guy.
Very well-versed.
I think you should come up here and...
So an intermission for Achila sitting down and
cue in the intermission music.
Yes.
Can you take my clothes from the washer and put in the dryer? And the one that is drier, put in the basket?
I'm leaving that in.
Every time.
I'm like, good job, Andre.
Honestly, at the end of the day.
No, I was like over there. I was like, please, can you guys let him talk? Because I was so mad. You and Leo was like cutting him off all the time.
I was not cutting Anthony
a lot.
No, I wasn't.
Yes. Did you see me like punching my leg? No. Was the time you cut him? I was like, and he was like, yeah, I'm trying.
I know. I was like, look at that.
Okay,
trying.
But that was at the end. And when he was talking in the beginning, I wasn't cutting him off. I think this episode Leo talked the most.
Calm down. Calm down.
You guys was like really close. Like
that a good thing for society. And yesterday was actually our producer's birthday. So happy birthday to Happy birthday, dear Achila. Happy birthday to you.
Oh my god, this is Nutella? It's Nutella?
I don't know. We didn't have money for
idea.
Nutella. What the fuck are you talking about?
We know it tastes good though.
But
Alright.
we could not go on a podcast without recognizing
Thank you
all the
so
hard
much.
work, because you guys only see Anthony, Leo, and I here in front of the camera, and you guys only get to hear us. But Atila is just as much of a part of our podcast as we are. He helps with
And
the
Nick.
2 camera setup. He helps with the editing to keep us on time.
Yes.
I next season we're gonna get a camera just for him. He's like, come on, move it along.
I know.
Put your hand down, Leo. Put your hand
I
down,
know.
Leo. Back straight.
Back straight, yeah.
It's so funny.
Keep your hands here. Keep your hands here. Don't do it too high
All the
because no one can
movements.
see.
Yeah. More excitedly. Come on, Leo. Come on.
Yeah, be happy.
Every time I tell him to put the beer here, he's like, okay. I'm like, no, it's not there. Oh, no.
All right. Really quick. Anthony, say something you appreciate about Atila. Go.
I do appreciate how honest you are. I think 100% of the time you're just gonna be straight up and honest, and you're gonna look at me in the eye and be a man about it. You say, "Hey, I don't like how you're doing this," and that's it. And I think I really appreciate that, because there's a lot of people that don't do that.
Facts.
There are a lot of people that just go fakely, and you know that doesn't that doesn't help anybody. But yeah, I really appreciate that about you.
Thank you.
That
bro.
is very
Thank you.
facts.
Appreciate it.
Very
Yeah.
facts. Leo, come over here. Say something. Or actually go over there. Yeah,
Yeah.
say something very close to him.
Yeah. Whisper it in
look,
his ear.
look at him in the eye.
Actually,
Oh my God, this sounds so good.
I love you.
Rub his shoulders.
No, man, dude, you're like the charcoal that makes it.
This was racist. This was really racist.
No, this
Like,
became racist.
If this
Oh,
was a
God.
steampunk engine, you're the charcoal that makes it going. So I thank you. Not seriously, but like everything that you do behind cameras, you know, setting it up, the cues, you know, keep it back straight, like get your hands off from the camera, like, you know, that's all stuff that makes this podcast better. So thank you very much, Achila.
Thank you, brother.
Yes.
Happy birthday to Achila.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
I guess I have said something, right? Man.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
Atila not only is the producer of our podcast, but he's also my partner in crime with A Square Media. And we only
It's not a plug.
No, it's not. I mean, even
$25
though
every time somebody clicks on
even
this.
though every single podcast we put our logo and our name over there.
Facts.
So I'm sorry.
Where's
but-
my revenue?
Oh, we're plugging our things all over the place, all over. I am right now. You're gonna see a bunch of A Square Media logos
And of
popping
course,
everywhere.
since he's the one who edits the
Yes,
videos.
I am the one. But anyways, I think you're one of the kind of friends that brings out the best in people.
Thank you.
You truly care about people. You ask, like Anthony said, you ask the questions that truly matter. You're not superficial. You want
Yeah.
to know when you say, "Hey, how are you doing, man?" You actually want to know how we are doing.
Facts.
And I
you.
really appreciate. And the only thing I wish is that we had this kind of friendship much sooner
Yes.
than just like November. So it's great to have you being part of the podcast and
Yes.
being friends with you, man.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Oh, and we all got together and we got you a little gift, which has been
Oh,
here the
of
whole
course,
time.
of course.
It's been here the whole time.
Wait a second. That's why he brought me downstairs.
Yes.
I knew it. He was like holding his laugh. It was like, yeah, they are closed here. It was like,
Yeah.
So Atila got home before I could, and we bought a little present.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
And the cake.
I was like, Anthony, get Atila out of the house so we can bring in the stuff. And then what did you say
I was
to
like,
Atila?
man, I forgot I have a package downstairs. We
Press
need
the
to
shutter button.
go grab it. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, dude, I'll come with you. No worries." I was like,
Yeah.
"Yes, I knew you would."
Press record button.
So yeah, that's oh, it's recording now. So I was like, yeah, so let's go downstairs. We went all the way downstairs, and I was like, snap. There's no one here. No.
But anyways, all right, blow your
all
candles.
right, all right.
Yeah.
25, man.
I wish everybody
I know,
has
25.
friends like you guys.
You're
Aw.
You know, you guys are really, really nice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And then off the camera, not friends. No, I was kidding.
All right.
Yay!
The alarm.
no, it
All
won't
right,
go off.
give the cake to Leo really quick.
Leo will get it.
I'm
All
kind
right,
of scary
now
for the
Neil,
present.
Here's
right
the
now.
present. You gotta open it.
know.
Open it
I'm
live.
kind of scary. Really.
We
What?
we did not have time or the need to wrap it up.
Yeah.
As you guys
obviously.
can see. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Natalia,
Yes.
it's about to go down.
Yeah, we got you a
Yes.
single bear. I don't even know what that means.
Granite State collection. Wow. That's
You gotta
awesome.
open it. The bottle is actually pretty nice. You gotta
Nice.
open
Yeah,
the
we
bottle.
looked at it and was like pretty dope.
This is Peaky Blinders.
I have
Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
his
hell,
favorite
Peaky
show right
Blinders.
now. Yes.
Oh my gosh, it looks really nice. Wow.
Yeah, that's a
Look
bottle.
that.
That is a bottle.
Man.
That is a really.
Thank
Oh,
you so
there's
much.
something else. There's something
Thank
else
you
in
so
the bag though. There's something else in the bag.
I'm gonna get it. I'm just need.
He's fist bumping everybody. You forgot to fist bump Nick.
Yeah, what happened to Nick? Nick's like, hi.
Nick's our fact checker. He was fact checking us this whole time.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
It is. Oh, okay.
it's in the bag.
Oh my gosh. If I show his mom, I'm gonna kill me.
Mom, stop. Actress mom, stop watching right
Stop
now.
watching right now.
Thank you,
Yes.
guys.
All right. Well, here the cheer today is gonna be a little different. Here's a random.
Yes. The cheers is a little bit different.
Here is. Wait, come over here. Come over here, Liam.
There it is.
You gotta be in actual shot.
Yeah. Yeah, there
For
we
the
go.
people that are listening
Oh
on.
my gosh. Come here. Come here.
Yeah, sit on the seat.
you gotta
with
get
them.
a cup. Get your cup.
Got
So
water.
I don't have nothing.
Nothing water.
here is to a great friend, our friend who produces us and strives us to be the best version of ourselves.
Yeah.
Hip, hip,
Yeah.
hooray!
Get right.